Welcome in, everybody. Spreads and Subs Daily Gambling Show. Today is Tuesday, June 4th. We are back. We had to take yesterday off because it was a complete dry day for sports. No WNBA games at all. There was I think 7 MLB games total. I didn't want to come on here and force picks. One thing I'm not going to do as a gambler is force anything. I'm not going to say, I don't want to take my personal bias into it. I don't want to be like, there's only one game on and it's 12 at night. I have to bet this. I'm just going to force something. Sometimes I do that, but I'm not going to come on here on a platform like this and be like, this is what you should take just because this is all that's on today. So I'm not going to do that. So that's why there was no show yesterday. But we are back today with a full slate of MLB and I believe 3 WNBA games. So we have a good amount here to work with. Before we get going here, though, I will say shout out to Bet Openly for sponsoring the show. Bet Openly has the best odds in the game. Sign up with the link in the YouTube description for Bet Openly. Deposit $50 and send a proof screenshot to me at JReedNBA on Twitter. That's JREIDNBA on Twitter. And I will get you into a giveaway for some cash. Shout out to Bet Openly for sponsoring the show. Today is Tuesday. For everybody that's new to the show, we give 10 picks every day. Out of those 10, I pick my favorite 3. Those are our best bets, and we are tracking those by record and by unit so far on the show. We have had 19 episodes, which I believe that takes us to 57 best bets. We are 28 and 29, minus 1.15 units. Last week, we were 7 and 8, but still plus 0.8 units on the week. So we will take that all day, a positive week. Despite the record, we go plus 0.18 units. And then for the breakdown of the 10 bets from Friday's show, tough Friday. We had a pretty good Wednesday, Thursday last week, but a tough Friday. 2 and 3 on NBA, 1 and 1 on WNBA, 1 and 2 on MLB, and that puts us at 4 and 6 overall. Or was that from, what day was that from? Or no, sorry, that was wrong day. I'm reading the wrong day. The one I meant to read was like a week ago. I just read. Jesus. All right. 2 and 3 on WNBA, 2 and 3 on MLB for 4 and 6 overall, 1 and 2 in best bets on Friday. Not great. That's what took us down 1 unit on last week, but regardless, we look to bounce back today. And our first pick of the day is Sun minus 12.5. The Sun are the best team in the league. In the WNBA right now. This seems like a trap to take the Mystics plus 12.5 because the Mystics have been competing in games and the Sun really haven't been blowing anybody out. But my reasoning for taking the Sun here is this is the second game these two teams have played. The Sun have gotten to figure out what this Mystics team is about. They shouldn't be catching them off guard in any way, shape, or form. But I think they just getting a second look at this Mystics team. I think the Sun are really going to be able to lock down, especially defensively. I think we see the Mystics really struggle to score for most of this game, and the Sun win in just one of their few blowouts of the year. Moving on here to second WNBA pick, we have the Liberty minus 8.5 against the Sky. The Sky are not playing well. They're adjusting to new lineups, especially with Cardoso coming back. This will be just her second game. The Liberty are sitting top 3 in offense. They're number 1 in offense, and they're number 3 in defensive rating on the season so far. They've been really dominant. They've been a really well-rounded team. The Sky are going through this whole media blunder right now. It's hard to avoid distractions for them, and I think the Liberties take advantage and win this game by double digits. I will say when I was looking at these bets last night, I wrote down Liberty minus 6.5 because that's what the line was then. It has gotten its way all the way up to 8.5 for the Liberty. But regardless, we are still going to take that. I trust the Liberty win this game in a blowout. Excuse me. All right. Moving on here to one more bet for this game. Liberty Sky under 165.5. 2 top 5 defensive teams here in defensive rating. The Liberty are 3, the Sky are 5. The number is higher than it should be due to the fact that the Liberty's offense has been so great over the whole season, but especially the past couple weeks or so. The first game between these two teams only went over due to the Liberty's defense not really being locked in at that point early on in the season. Now they played about 4 or 5 games since then. They've gotten much better. Like I said, they're number 3 in defensive rating in the entire league right now. I think they do a good job defending, and I think this game goes up under 165.5. And then the Sky, like I said, are already a great defensive team. As good as on offense as the Liberty are, I don't think the Liberty are going to be able to go put up 90 points on them again. I just don't see that happening. So, next one here And today's breakdown, I didn't say this before, is going to be 5 WNBA picks, 5 MLB picks. So, fourth WNBA pick here, Storm -7.5. I love this bet. I expect this game to end in a blowout win for the Storm. This has already moved up a whole point since I first saw it last night. The Storm have just been lighting it up on offense, but their defense has been better statistically. They have a better defensive rating than offensive rating, despite being really hot, especially shooting the ball over the past week or so. They're one of the more complete teams in the WNBA, and they're playing against a team in the Mercury with just no identity. The Mercury go out there one game, they play good defense, bad offense, and they flip the next game, and then they're both bad the next game. They're all over the place. They don't have much of an identity right now. I'm going to bet against them, and I think the Storm might sneaky be like a top 5 team in the W. I don't know. We still got a lot of year left, but I really like what I've seen from the Storm so far, taking them -7.5. Next one here, we got, let's see, Storm Mercury under 166.5. The Storm are a great defensive team, like I said, and I think the Mercury are going to just struggle to score this whole game. As great as the Storm have been offensively, I think they're going to have to carry the over-under for this game to go over, which is the reason why I'm taking it under 166.5. The Storm would have to go out there and do what they did against the Fever, where they put up 100 points. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think they win this game somewhere in the, 90 to 70 region, somewhere like that, 89 to high 60s, somewhere in that range. I think they win this game in a blowout that favors the under. So my 5 WNBA picks here: Sun -12.5, Liberty -8.5, Liberty Sky under 165.5, Storm -7.5, and Storm Mercury under 166.5. Those are our 5 WNBA bets. Moving on to our 5 MLB bets. Starting off with the Royals money line +105. At this point, it's death taxes and taking the Royals whenever Lou goes on the mound. He's 9-1 with a 1.72 ERA on the season, and we've just been taking the Royals every single time that they're an underdog and he's on the mound. McKenzie's on the mound for the Guardians. He's been solid on the year. He has a sub-4 ERA. Nothing fantastic, but the Royals are just dominant whenever Lou goes on the mound. Their bats get hot. I'm going to continue to take them whenever they're dogs with him on the mound. That's just a gimme for us. The same way that in the playoffs, if we got Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists plus money, we were taking it. Same thing here with the Royals. We're hopping all over it. And that leads me to another MLB bet that I have been trending with, taking every single time, and that is Nationals money line with Trevor Williams on the mound, and their underdogs +115. They're going against the Mets. Trevor Williams is on the bump. Like I said, he's 5-0 on the year, 2.22 ERA. Absolutely fantastic. Similar to the Royals, whenever Lou goes on the mound, the Nats just hit the ball better with Williams on the mound. Peterson is on the mound for the Mets. He's just on his second start of the season. His first start was actually pretty good, but regardless, he's still on his second start of the year. I think he's going to struggle against the Nats, and I think there's no way the Nats should be dogs in this game. So Nats +115, and that line is actually helping us out. I find that most of these lines, when I look the night before, they change the next day and they're worse, but regardless, this one's better. We'll take it, 115. Next one here, Cardinals money line +135. I know I don't really give picks this high. I also don't give highly favored picks. I keep my picks usually between -115-ish to +115-ish is usually the range that I like to give my picks out, but I'll give you a highly juiced one if you want to run this one up. Cardinals money line +135. The Cardinals played better for a lot of the game last night. They just choked late. The Astros got really hot towards the end of that game. Arrighetti versus Palante is the pitching matchup here. The Cardinals, I think, have the advantage with Palante on the mound. I think this turns into a shootout, though. I think both teams score a ton of runs this game, and it ends up in the Cardinals' favor with the better pitching overall. And that leads me to my next one here, which is in the same game, which is that over Cardinals-Astros over 8.5. Both these teams just super hot bats. Arrighetti has not been great. His ERA is almost 6 for Houston. Palante, who is better than Arrighetti, is on the mound, and he does, like I said, he is better, but he still is going to give up a ton of runs probably, especially against the Astros team that could hit. Two teams that are hitting the ball super well, two teams that's pitching has not been great. That leads us to taking over 8.5 pretty easily here. And then moving on to my final bet of the day. Oh, sorry, YouTube. Final bet of the day. White-Sox-Cubs under 9.5 total runs. The White Sox just can't score runs at all. Shota Imanaga is back on the mound for the Cubs. I believe this is his first start since he had his first really bad start of the season. Still has a sub-2 ERA, still been pretty dominant. The Cubs have not been good offensively overall. I think regardless of Flexen is on the mound for the White Sox, but he's going to give up some runs. But I think overall the White Sox inability to score runs, and you have the Cubs best pitcher on the mound. He's going to probably go 7-8 innings, and that's just going to lead us to probably a guaranteed under there, especially at 9.5. It's so high that you have to take it. I actually had this at minus 8.5 last night at plus 1 something, and now it's under 9.5 at minus 110. Yeah, Cook. Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm expecting here. I think we see something like a 5-1, 5-2 Cubs win here. So with that model, I'm going to go under 9.5 easily. But I have taken 8.5 as well. So here we go. Let me repeat those MLB picks one more time before we move into the best bets. Royals money line plus 105. Nationals money line plus 115. Cardinals money line plus 135. Cardinals Astros over 8.5. And White Sox Cubs under 9.5. So here we go. If you're new to the show, we pick out of our 10 bets that we give out each day. We pick live our favorite 3. I do not plan these ahead of time. I pick all the bets I like, and then the next day I look at it and we pick it right here live on the show. First one I'm going to go with is going to be the one I just said. White Sox Cubs under 9.5. This just seems like a too high over-under for this game. Two teams that are not great offensively. You have an ace on the mound in Imanaga, who's one of the better pitchers in the league, and maybe it's him and Skeens for best young pitcher in the league. I just don't see how the Sox are going to be able to score a ton of runs on him. If they get to the bullpen early, somehow this could go bad. But when you got a guy like Imanaga who can go a lot of innings, have him go 7 or 8 innings, it's going to be tough for the Cubs bullpen to really sell us there. So under 9.5 in that game is the first best bet. White Sox money line, don't trip. What are they, plus 200? I can't even imagine what they are. Next best bet here, we're going to go with Royals money line plus 105. This is just a pattern that we've been following whenever Lou goes on the mound. We've been taking the Royals whenever they're plus money with him on the mound. Maybe it's a trap here because, of course, he's 9-1. He's been fantastic. Could be free money, to be honest. Cubs been awful recently. I mean, yeah, the Sox haven't been great. But regardless, Royals money line plus 105 is my second one. My last best bet is going to be, let's go in the WNBA. We'll go with Storm minus 7.5. Like I said, I think the Storm win this game in a blowout. I think their offense has been, I know their offense has been fantastic, and we know the Mercury are just inconsistent on both ends. I don't think the Mercury are going to be able to score on this tough Storm defense. Top 5 in the league in defense. I believe they're number 4. I think this game ends up somewhere in the 90 to 70 range, putting us well under that 166.5 for my other bet. But regardless, I think the Storm win in a blowout at minus 7.5. So one more time, the best bets are Storm minus 7.5, Royals money line plus 105, and White Sox Cubs under 9.5. So those are our best bets. We got a 1+ money pick in there on our best bets. Chance to go up on units overall if we can go 2-1 today with that one. We're currently sitting at minus 1.15 units. Regardless, we will be back tomorrow as always at the same time, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, with 10 more bets, cutting it down to 3 more best bets for the week. And once again, shout out to Bet Openly for sponsoring the show. Sign up with the link in the description on YouTube. Deposit $50 and send me a screenshot at JReedNBA on Twitter. That's JREIDNBA on Twitter, and I will enter you into a giveaway for some extra cash. But I will see everybody tomorrow at 2 Eastern.